welcome to the news update on Papyrus Global TV. My name is Christiana Babayo. Before we begin, here are the headlines. Bauchi State approves 100% pay rise for doctors, healthcare workers. Wike says he has no regrets supporting Tinubu since 2022. Senator Natasha rejects APC defection offers, affirms loyalty to PDP. Opposition leaders warn federal government against weaponizing EFCC, say anti-graft agency targeting rivals. Masob blasts EFCC over Ngige arrest, alleges political vendetta. Peter Obi demands independent probe after suspected terrorists claim government officials supplied them arms. Forest guards can crush banditry within 3 months, NFSS commander assures. The Bauchi state government has approved a 100% salary increase for doctors and other healthcare workers as part of a major welfare and retention strategy for the state's health sector. The decision was taken at a recent meeting of the State Executive Council presided over by Governor Bala Muhammad, with the aim of strengthening healthcare delivery and addressing chronic shortages of medical professionals. The new pay structure doubles the existing salaries for medical personnel and includes additional benefits designed to motivate health workers. The package also introduces allowances for postings outside major urban centers, car and housing loan schemes, and clearance of outstanding promotion arrears, with at least 2,000 health workers expected to benefit. Officials said the move is intended both to attract new professionals to the public health sector and to retain existing staff, amid concerns over workforce depletion driven by poor remuneration and career stagnation. The welfare enhancements will apply to employees of State Primary Healthcare Development Board as well as other service units. To ensure transparency and efficiency, biometric and verification systems will be rolled out across health facilities, officials added, to promote accountability and improve overall service delivery standards. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has reiterated that he has no regrets about publicly backing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu since 2022, saying his political stance has remained consistent before, during and after the 2023 presidential election cycle. Speaking at a special event to mark his 58th birthday in Abuja, Wike said his decision was guided by personal principles and his conviction that political support should align with equity and justice. Wike, a former governor of Rivers State and longtime People's Democratic Party leader, noted he was the only senior opposition figure to openly declare support for Tinubu's presidential bid ahead of the 2023 polls, a choice he said was rooted in the belief that power should shift to the south. His backing, he added, was unambiguous and maintained throughout the electoral process. At the event, Wike highlighted outcomes from the 2023 elections in Rivers State under his leadership, pointing to a mixed result where Tinubu captured the presidential vote, while the PDP held governorship and legislative positions. The gathering drew lawmakers, local government officials, and political allies from across party lines who praised Wike's leadership and reaffirmed their support. The minister's remarks underscore his continued political alignment with the All Progressives Congress (APC) administration, even as he retains formal membership in the PDP, a stance that has attracted both criticism and support from different political quarters. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduahan, representing Kogi Central, has firmly stated that she will not defect to the All Progressives Congress (APC) despite repeated overtures from individuals linked to the presidency and some legislators. Akpoti-Oduahan, a member of the People's Democratic Party, made the remarks in a recent interview on the Mic on podcast with Sheung Akimbaloye, which was posted on YouTube. According to the senator, the approaches to join the ruling party have been persistent and have come from high-profile quarters, including presidential affiliates and colleagues in the National Assembly. She said she has been approached multiple times with the suggestion or pressure that she should follow the politicians who have crossed to the APC. Akpoti-Oduahan emphasized that she values her political independence and peace, expressing comfort with her current party affiliation and dismissing the ruling party as an option for her, even amid internal tensions within the PDP. She recalled that she was briefly a member of the APC early in her political career, but has since charted her own path. The senator also touched on her future political plans, saying that discussions about a potential re-election bid in 2027 are ongoing within her party, but she warned that nothing has been decided. Speculation about possible challengers, including former Governor Yahaya Bello, did not deter her, as she declared that she would face any contender after consultation with her family, constituents, and party. Nigerian opposition figures have accused the federal government and state institutions of using the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to intimidate and weaken political rivals ahead of the 2027 general elections. In a joint statement, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, ex-presidential candidate Peter Obi, former Senate President David Mark, and other senior opposition leaders warned that perceived selective enforcement threatens the country's multi-party democracy. The coalition's public warning centers on allegations that the EFCC, Nigeria's primary anti-graft agency, has been politicized and instrumentalized against opposition leaders and parties. They argue that anti-corruption enforcement has increasingly been pursued in ways that appear to disproportionately target critics of the ruling All Progressives Congress, including investigations and detention of key figures while shielding allies of the government. This pattern, they say, risks undermining public trust in anti-corruption institutions and emboldening a draft toward one-party dominance. Opposition leaders also urged institutional reforms, including embedding anti-corruption operatives into government payment systems for transparency and establishing independent public account reviews to ensure accountability without partisan interference. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. The movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, MASOB, has sharply criticized the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over the arrest and detention of former Labour Minister Dr. Chris Ngige, accusing the anti-graft agency of selective justice and political vendetta. MASOB leader, Comrade Uchenna Madu, said the EFCC's actions damaged Nigeria's image internationally and undermine confidence in anti-corruption efforts. The group claimed the commission has been inconsistent in its enforcement, alleging overlooking financial misconduct by powerful individuals while aggressively pursuing perceived critics of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. MASOB specifically condemned the arrest of Ngige, suggesting it was unjustified and politically motivated, and questioned the basis on which companies linked to him were targeted, without clarity on whether contracts were properly executed. The group tied the escalation to deeper national politics, claiming that Ngige's detention followed a visit from former presidential candidate Peter Obi and reflected anxiety within the current government over opposition figures and the 2027 election landscape. Masop also raised concerns that Ngige's arrest carries undertones of ethnic bias and warned that continued humiliation of Igbo leaders by state agencies will not be tolerated. Former presidential candidate Peter Obi has called for a transparent and independent investigation into the viral video showing suspected terrorists in Kwara State, alleging that government officials supplied them with ammunition and logistical support. Obi said the allegations strike at the heart of Nigeria's prolonged insecurity and demand urgent scrutiny. He argued that despite massive spending on security in recent years, terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping have continued to spread with greater frequency and boldness. Obi questioned why long-standing security investments and advanced technology appear underutilized in tracking and neutralizing terrorist networks, and why government forces seem unable to bring perpetrators to justice even when hostages are freed. He criticized that he criticized what he described as either government complicity or a failure of leadership in addressing insecurity, warning that neither scenario is acceptable for a nation's leadership. The former Anambra State governor reiterated that protecting lives and property is the foremost duty of government and urged accountability and competence in security operations. The commander of the Nigeria Forest Security Service (NFSS), Dr. Joshua Osatimehin, has expressed confidence that banditry and related crimes can be significantly curtailed within 3 months if the federal government fully deploys trained forest guards across the country's vast forests. Osatimehin said Nigeria's forests have become safe havens for bandits, kidnappers, and other criminal elements largely due to inadequate surveillance and enforcement. He maintained that the NFSS, if properly maintained and integrated into the national security architecture, possesses the manpower, local intelligence, and terrain familiarity required to dislodge criminal networks operating in forested areas. According to him, forest guards are strategically positioned to complement conventional security agencies by blocking escape routes, monitoring illegal movements, and preventing criminals from regrouping in remote locations. He stressed that most bandit attacks originate from forest bases and that reclaiming these spaces would drastically weaken criminal operations nationwide. Osati Main further urged the government to accelerate the formal recognition, arming, and coordination of forest guards with the military, police, and other security agencies. He argued that without securing the forest, efforts to end banditry, kidnapping, and rural violence would remain ineffective. The NFSS commander reiterated that Nigeria already has the human resources to confront insecurity, but requires decisive political will, proper funding, and coordinated deployment to translate capacity into results. And that's all we have on the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.